Yes.
Wow, thank you all for coming out tonight on this beautiful Friday. This is such an amazing crowd, and we're all really happy to be here. My name is Amali, and I'm the events director here at Books Are Magic. We are so excited to have Hailee Catalano and Rebecca Firkser with us tonight to celebrate the launch of Hailee's debut cookbook, By Heart. Yeah, that's right. You've watched her videos, you've followed her recipes, you've dreamt of her beachside sandwiches, and now not only do you get a book full of Hailee's amazing creations, you get to hear her talk about the incredible creative process behind it. Before we dive in, I just have a few logistics to point out for how tonight's event is going to go. First, we will be doing a hand-raised audience Q&A towards the end of the discussion, so please start thinking of questions to ask and hold on to them. After the talk tonight, Hailee will be around to sign and personalize your books at the alcove next to where you checked in. We'll let you know where and when to start lining up for that. And finally, if you're joining us virtually on the YouTube live stream, we would love to encourage you to buy a copy of By Heart online using the link in the live stream description. Okay, I'm going to read some quick bios and then we're going to get right in. Hailee Catalano is a trained chef, former restaurant cook, and recipe developer. Now living with her partner Chuck and her dog Gus in New Jersey, she takes inspiration from her time in restaurants, her Midwestern upbringing, her Italian-American heritage, and her love of seasonal produce to create fun and fresh recipes for home cooks. And as I mentioned earlier, Rebecca Firkser joins Hailee in conversation tonight. Rebecca is a Brooklyn-based writer and cook. Her recipes and writing have appeared in Bon Appetit, Eater, and New York Magazine's The Strategist, among others. She writes a Substack newsletter, Nickel and Dime, celebrating budget-friendly recipes, and her first cookbook, Let, will be published in July of this year. If you want to pre-order that, come see us up at the register afterwards. Yes. That's all from me. Please join me in giving Hailee and Rebecca a very warm welcome.
Thank you. All right. Quick sip of water.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much for coming. I'm so excited about doing this.
Thank you so much for being here, Rebecca.
So fun. Of course. Well, just to give you guys a little context, Hailee and I met in the most phenomenal and hard to believe way.
Yeah.
It was a butter trip in Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of all downhill from there.
Yeah. Ever since then, nothing has been as good as that,
right.
That's for sure.
Literally the best.
But we bonded over butter.
We bonded over butter. Over long bus rides and butter.
Yeah.
At that point, the book was just like a glimmer. Like, how far along were you? Were you in the...
I think I
sold it?
Yes, we just signed it, and then I think I was starting the table of contents at that time. Amazing. I don't even, what year was that?
I was about to say, I don't remember.
I was like, is that
2023?
2022? One of those, 2022 or 2023.
It was a minute, I think it was 2023. Not important. But anyway, it was before the book was a book.
Yes.
But first of all, happy Pub Week.
Thank you.
How has it been? You've been doing a lot.
Yes, there's been things happening, but very fun, very grateful for everybody. And it's like obviously my first time ever doing it. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy.
You were on the Today Show?
Yes, I went on the Today Show.
Who was your favorite host?
Well, Al Roker really liked my tattoo. Because he's like, when it rains, it pours. I'm like, I know. And he's like, we should get a matching tattoo. I was like, let's do it. Me and Al.
Matching tattoo with Al Roker.
Yes.
I don't.
Of the salt lady.
Of the Morton salt girl?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's what he loved. He loved it.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So how's Gus handling all the excitement?
You know, it's really gotten to his head. I'm like, you need to calm down.
I saw he has an Instagram account now.
Yes.
Has that been a thing for a while? Like, did I miss that?
No. Well, he's always had it, but he was shy, so he never really shared it with anybody. But lately, he's been, like I said, it's going to his head, so he's like, let me share it.
Yeah. He's like, I'm the famous one.
Yes.
Now. Love.
Yeah.
Well, before we talk about your career, your book, I want to take it back a little bit.
Okay.
I'm probably not the only one who saw the most adorable video of little Hailee.
Oh yeah.
Making brownies. They were brownies, right?
Yes, brownies. I was very proud of
you had a swap.
Yes.
I was like, this girl was made to be creating recipes for us to all watch. Tell me a little bit about that. What was the cookbook?
Yes. So I did that. I think it was, I forget how old I was, young, obviously. But I was like, we had to do a book talk. Oh, no, like a a project on a book. And I was like, oh, well, I love cookbooks. I want to do a project on a cookbook. I wonder if my teacher will let me do that. And so I was like, oh, can I please just like read a cookbook and do like my project on that? They're like, I guess so. No one's really ever asked me that. But sure, go ahead, Hailee. I was like, perfect. So I was like, I'll read this book. It was the Disney, like the family Disney cookbook or something.
I think I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, is this
it's like
amazing?
a Disney cookbook.
Was that a book that your parents had?
Yes, given to me by my aunt though. Yeah.
Amazing.
So yeah, just this. It's a very funny book. I was actually reading it when I was back home.
You still have it?
Yes. Oh, my mom. Oh, yes, my mom definitely has it. She's like, she loves it so much. She's like, we've made that. I'm like, okay. But I was like, wow, this book actually has quite a bit of content. I was like,
all right,
a lot of recipes. I was like, okay, Disney. Yeah,
Love
really,
that.
really good.
What any others that you remember? Any hits?
Yes, there's this cake that looks like hopscotch.
Cool.
And it's like such a cool little cake. I remember I
like
made that.
piping?
Yes, and like you like put the cakes together in this like thing. It's like
God.
really crazy.
Wow.
And then they have like muffins. Like yeah, they got everything in there. But I was like, I'm gonna make brownies, and then it was like you had to do, like it had to be like you had to share something with the class. So I was like, oh, I'll make the brownies and then I'll play my video. What I did is I rolled that, you know, those like TVs that like in the old days,
Yeah.
where you like roll it out. So I rolled it out and then I put my like thing in there, and I was
You
like,
like had the VHS.
yes, the
That's
VHS.
Does everybody know what a VHS is?
And I was like, I just played it. I just stood there while the class watched it.
That's amazing. And then you didn't have to do like an oral report.
Yes, because I was nervous about talking in front of people. Yeah, so I played that, and then everyone ate the brownies, and I was like, oh my gosh, no one's gonna like this because kids don't like dark chocolate. I don't know, but and I don't think that they liked it, to be honest, because no one really.
Well, they're missing out. Dark chocolate's the best.
Yeah, I know.
Did you
I'm
get
sure
an
they grew
A?
up. Yes, I did.
Thank
Yeah, that was
goodness for
funny.
that.
I think everyone was like, "This is weird, Hailee," but good story
No,
now.
you were thinking outside of the box.
Yes, it was.
That's the way to do it. Well, like little Hailee obviously loved cooking.
Yes.
I feel like I've heard you talk about Food Network. Like, what other things did you like to cook? What did you like to engage with in food at the time?
I think my mom always had a garden, and she was always making something out of the garden. And I was like, I loved just watching her do that. I think that's like started where like interest in food. And then I have a big Italian family, and we always cooking Sicilian stuff. And so I just was always around food, and everyone's always excited about food around me. And yeah, and then actually my aunt and uncle are both chefs too. So I saw them being chefs, and I was like, that's
They have
cool.
a restaurant?
No, they ended up, they worked in restaurants together, like Chuck and I actually, that's how they've met as well.
Okay.
So they worked in restaurants together, and then they ended up doing more like corporate, like Cisco chef job type things, because it always, people, you know, you get burnt out.
Yeah.
Even if you want to have a family, you kind of have to have something more like that. So yeah, I always saw them doing it. I was like, that's really cool. And then I just knew that, I don't know, I just knew that I wanted to like go to culinary school. Yeah. Is that your question?
Yeah. No, exactly. Well, that you've segued right into my next question.
Okay, perfect. Thank
Which
God.
is sometime after that brownie video, you decided to go to culinary school.
Yes.
So tell us about that, because a lot of people who develop recipes don't go to culinary school, and you're one of the few that did.
Thank you.
So how did that shape your culinary point of view?
Yeah. Well, when I went, I was like, oh my God, this is like so scary. Like all the chefs there are like really scary, and they were like really serious, and they like, I was like, I'm like so scared of these
They're
people.
all like 60-year-old men.
Yes, and they're like
who have not sat down in
yes,
25
in
years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was like, wow, I got to really be focused, and like I got to learn as much as I can. And then you realize no chefs are actually really scary. They're just like, they like to pretend that they're scary. And then you just get on their good side. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I definitely, well, that was like the first time I ever even like kind of like ventured out of my home, really. Like in high school and stuff, I wasn't like I didn't like go out or anything. Like I'm like very much a homebody. So even just the experience of like moving all the way to like New York and like being like on my own was like such a big thing. And I think that like I really learned a lot in those, like it's only like a year and a half.
Right. It's
yeah,
quick.
or 2 years.
It's a lot all slammed
all at
into.
once. Yeah. Yeah, but it was really, I feel like, I used to think like, did culinary school like really help me? I'm like, I don't know. But then I was like, no, I think it really, it sets a really good base.
Yeah.
And then especially also just the mindset that they instill.
Exactly.
Of,
Like you
like-
just know how to hold the onion.
Yeah.
You know how to like, some people you watch them
Yes.
chop and you're like, you're going to lose a finger.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Tuck those fingers in, please.
Yes, no, exactly. But it's that kind of like foundational skill that I feel like
Yes.
you don't often get without that kind of training.
Yeah.
So then you moved into kitchens.
Yes.
Did you have a favorite kitchen? Did you have a least
Yes.
favorite kitchen? You don't have to
Mhm.
name names unless you want to call somebody out.
No. I really enjoyed I feel like I was very lucky with most of my chefs that I worked for. Very like nice and like, well, I also didn't want to work at a place where it was like super like crazy strict vibes because it's just like I don't really even like cooking in that way. Like I prefer, I don't prefer that kind of cooking.
Fewer tweezers.
Yes, fewer tweezers, fewer, starched jackets.
The like clock on the wall in the bear.
Yes. Oh my
That's
God.
immediately
Yes,
right.
I know. Yes, none of those. I'm really lucky to have really nice chefs. But I think my favorite / where I learned the most was Cellar Door. We talked about.
Yeah.
You've been to Cellar Door.
I have.
Yeah.
I think the best croissant I've ever had.
Yeah. Oh my God, so good. Like, and we
They
only
don't
made
really
like
make
12.
them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't make them anymore, and really good quiche.
Really phenomenal
Yes,
quiche.
a
Didn't have
good
to like
quiche.
sit overnight to set.
Yes.
Yeah.
It has this. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You made the rest. Well, like it's in Bon Appetit, right?
It's in Bon Appetit. Yeah,
Yes.
but I've cooked it. It's,
Yeah, it's a lot of cream. It's
so
like
much
2
cream.
eggs and like 4 cups of cream.
Yeah. It's wonderful. You should all make it. I'm sure
Yeah.
the recipe's still online.
Yes. Oh yes. Make Rebecca's
Yeah.
recipe. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, well, you decided to change it all up after working in kitchens. How long did you work in kitchens for?
I graduated culinary school in 2014 and then to 2020.
Yeah.
So, but it's on and off. Basically on, but
Yeah.
there's a couple of times where I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
Totally.
Yeah.
And
Burnt out.
so you
Mhm.
guys were, and you and Chuck.
Yeah.
I feel like we all know
Chuck.
who we're talking
Yes.
about. when
Hey,
we say
Chuck.
you guys. But you guys decided to pivot and move to New
Yes.
Jersey.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, because originally we wanted to move back to like Jersey City because we were like, I want a New York City like restaurant on my resume
Right.
from cooking because I feel like that was like such a cool thing. So that's why we moved back and like a change of pace because we were living in Chicago for like 5-ish years at that point. So we moved back, but that was like January 2020. So then nothing happened after that. Nothing. So we did end up, it was like such a terrible time to be working in restaurants, obviously working blah, blah, blah. So yeah, then I just got like a really random like work from home job for like air fryer company.
Oh,
Yeah.
doing what for the air fryer?
We would Chuck and I both had this
Yeah.
job as well. Testing like chicken finger, like how long does it take the chicken fingers to
Oh my
crisp
God.
up?
It's like the stuff that goes like in the informational
Yes.
booklet.
Oh,
like,
it was so
takes
great.
you
It was
this
terrible.
many minutes to do your crinkle
Yes.
fries.
Yes. Oh my God. I was like eating the weirdest foods. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah, it was air fried food. for, like,
yes,
a
air
year.
fried, and the things that they wanted us to test in it was like crazy. Once I put like a whole filet mignon, like a whole like tenderloin thing in there.
Whoa. Did you ever do a whole chicken?
Yes. Oh my God, that was
I learned
weeks
that,
of that.
and I was like,
It's crazy.
how long does it take?
I don't know anymore. I
That's
blocked that
fair.
part.
Honestly,
on my
no one
life.
should be air frying chicken.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Just
Yeah.
buy a convection oven.
Yeah, like we have enough. And it also, it's like it's so hard to clean. Anyways,
It's impossible to clean.
yeah. All
Does
this fat.
anybody? Do you guys like the air fryer?
It's good for some things. I know.
Yeah.
Do we like it? I
For
don't know.
fries, like for like tater tots, like I guess.
Yes. Yeah. I guess. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's the job that we had for a while, which was awesome. And then we started testing thermometer. There was all these little things that we were testing.
Ooh.
Very funny.
How do you, like being the temperature
Yes.
and like oil.
Yes, and like meats and like
Oh.
we had to like see how long, how long something will like rise up like during
How
the
long it takes.
resting, and like it was a whole.
I mean,
thing.
we're like two food nerds, so I'm
Yeah.
like, tell me
Yeah.
more about the
I know.
thermometer.
Yes, I know.
But let's
Yeah.
get back to what we're really interested in, which is at what point did the infamous Cafe Hailee at Cafe Hailee?
Oh yes, when did that
Begin?
begin? I think that was 2021. Yeah, that's when I
Nice.
had that job, and I wasn't used to having more of like a stay-at-home job.
Totally.
So I was like, and that job was so like creatively draining. Like there was nothing creative about it at all.
Totally.
those chicken nuggets. Anyway, so I was like, what can I do to like, foster my, because I miss creative stuff and like cooking like food that I really like. And I remember, I don't know when I downloaded TikTok. When did you download it?
I was late to TikTok.
Okay.
I was like, I'm going to be a maverick and not do what everyone else is doing. And that's why I have no followers on TikTok. But that was the time to be down. No, I downloaded TikTok like in 2024.
Okay.
Embarrassing.
No, that's not embarrassing at all. No, that's better for you. It's better. It's better.
It got you where you are today.
Yes, that's true. I do appreciate it very much. Yeah. I forget. Yeah, I don't know when. I was like, when did I start watching? I'm like, I could have started like in 2019. I don't know. I had it for a long time.
A while.
Yeah. I'd had it for a long time, just watching people dance, and then
love that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. But then I started seeing people like the dancing was going away, and people were cooking.
Yeah, hands in pans.
Yes,
yeah.
And I was like, wait, this is fun.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I could try. And I was like, I have no idea how to do that at all. Like, I'm really bad with my phone. Like, I don't. Like yesterday, Chuck and I realized you can like save things on Google Maps, like on your phone, like, and come back to it.
They don't make it easy, but it does work.
But we learned that yesterday. I'm like, this is cool.
New skill unlocked.
Yeah.
Now you're ready to go on vacation.
I know. That's what we said. I'm like, this is going to make life so much easier. So I'm excited about knowing that. Off topic. But I'm not good with my phone. I've never like posted much on social media at all. So I'm like, I don't know how to do this, but I want to try. And so I was like, let me start with making coffee videos, because I'm like, that seems like a lower barrier to entry, instead of like making all these elaborate things. Like maybe I can teach myself how to film by just like pouring some milk.
Like latte art.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, that's a skill.
That I'm no longer good at, sadly. I lost it. But yeah, so I started with coffee videos, making funny coffee videos.
And then you started incorporating your own recipe development, because had you done much development beforehand?
Well, for that air fryer company, we had to write recipes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So
shout out to the air fryer
I know
company.
they did. Yeah, the air fryer company. We had to like really and I would work with like recipe writers, and I was like, so I do really appreciate that job, because I learned a lot of things. Like when you would test Rebecca tested every recipe in my book. So shout out to Rebecca. Yes. Yeah.
I feel like we're the only two people at this point who've cooked the whole book.
Exactly.
But soon, I'm sure that will not be it.
Yes.
If you guys don't know what recipe testing is, it's after the recipe developer writes the recipe and cooks through the recipe, then you give it to a tester.
And it's scary. But not
because they judge you.
No.
Because then I would have to cook through it knowing nothing about the recipe, working in my own crappy oven, being like, okay, so you say it took 8 minutes. For me, it took 12 minutes. So maybe there should be a time range. Should we call it 9 minutes?
Right. Which is a very hard job.
It's very interesting.
Very hard. It's so hard. But so I worked with recipe writers in that job, and I like learned about like saying like a white onion or not just like a yellow one. So I did learn about that from that. And so then I was like, oh, maybe I can try to do it. But I also never thought I was going to write recipes for these videos. But then everyone's like, recipe.
Yes, they love to shout recipe. 6 question marks, 4 exclamation points.
And I'm like, Chuck, do you think people really want this recipe like this badly?
They do. Maybe you should write it down.
Yeah, I was like, okay, maybe I'll try to start writing it down. And I was like, so then I started writing it down. And I made like a Squarespace, like a little easy website. Yeah. And I just started putting them on there. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. And so at what point were you like, wait, this could be a job?
Also, I was like, I just want to do this instead of the air fryer. I keep on going back to this air fryer
job. This air fryer company is going to send you an email tomorrow.
I know. I'm like, sorry guys, love you. So I'm like, I just want to be able to like, kind of quit that job and do this. Like, I never thought, I just wanted to maintain the same kind of thing, but just like work from home. But then it just kind of grew, and I was going with it.
Amazing. Yeah. I love that. Well, I want to do a hard pivot to bring back to New Jersey. I'm from New Jersey.
Yes.
Any Jerseyans?
Yes.
All right.
See, they're always here. I love that.
It's phenomenal. You find them everywhere.
Yes. I'm like, everyone's from New Jersey.
Everyone is
Once
from New Jersey.
you say you're from New Jersey, then everyone's like,
because
me
people lie
too.
about it. People say like, oh, I'm from New York. And you go, oh, that's cool. I'm from New Jersey. And they go, oh, well, I'm actually from Patterson. And you're like, it's all right.
I love New Jersey.
New Jersey's the best.
It's a great place.
So tell me, what is your bagel shop order?
Oh, yes. It's very boring. I'm sorry. It's just bacon, egg, and cheese on a sesame with salt and pepper.
Love it.
Which
No
is-
ketchup?
No ketchup.
Okay. All right.
But I didn't know, like moving here, like that you have to say salt and pepper.
You gotta
What
say
is
it.
that? Why?
Salt, pepper, ketchup.
Yeah. Why do you have to say salt and pepper? Why would we not want salt and pepper on an egg?
Some people don't know how to season their food.
True. I guess
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
But that's the first place. Isn't that like the only time you have to say salt
I
and
feel
pepper
like
on
it's a
something?
very Jersey deli specific thing. Because
Yeah.
if you said salt, pepper, ketchup to someone in like
Yes.
Minnesota,
Yeah,
they're
they're
like, what's happening?
confused.
Yeah.
I was confused.
Yeah. And that's not, no, it's truly a Jersey thing.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so
Wait,
now
what's yours? What's yours?
mine is mortadella.
Oh, yes.
But that I have to be in an Italian restaurant. So
Right.
Italian deli.
Deli.
But it'll be Taylor ham, egg and
Okay,
cheese,
yes.
salt, pepper, ketchup.
Oh, yeah. So okay, so
Right.
with the ketchup too.
Yes, I'm a
Okay.
big ketchup girl.
I love that. I love that.
There's a mortadella egg and cheese in Hailee's book.
Yes,
I
there
don't
is
know if you
based
guys
on
have seen
that. Yeah,
it.
yeah, based on that with a ketchupy item.
With a ketchupy item. That's
Condiment,
right.
yeah.
Yes. Was it like an onion jam?
Yes, like a tomato onion
oh, it's
jam.
very good.
Yes, so ketchup adjacent.
Ketchup adjacent. Well, you heard me say Taylor ham. Are we Taylor ham folks or pork roll folks?
I say pork roll.
South Jersey. I'm from North Jersey, and it's Taylor ham.
It's a really great debate. Once I went somewhere and they're like, "You mean Taylor ham?" and I was like, "I don't
Huh?
know. I don't know."
No, it's really a divide.
It is. It's,
Yeah.
it's a
And
big
then
thing.
Central Jersey, if you believe it exists.
Oh
like,
yes,
some
that's a
people-
whole
you know,
thing
it's a
too.
whole other
Well,
thing.
Chuck's from Central Jersey, so that
Okay,
always
so
comes
it
up.
exists. If you're
Yeah,
from
so if
Central
you're from-
Jersey, it
yeah.
exists. Okay. All right. Well, enough about Taylor ham. Let's talk about the book.
Yeah.
So obviously, you publish recipes all the time.
Yes.
What made you feel like now is time to
let go.
memorialize on
Yes.
paper?
Well, I was like, I really wanted because like everything that I do is so like not tangible, like in a way, you know, like this is like really some of the first times I get to meet everybody that like likes and like to watch my videos and stuff. And so I was like, I want a tangible thing that people can have and hold because I feel like it's very important to have like a printed item. You know what
It
I'm
is.
saying?
It hits
Um,
different.
Yes, and I really want to do that to hold it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
well, I
that
think
was
there's
the thing.
something so special about like opening up a cookbook and like you're cooking and you're referring to the recipe and you're splattering the
Yes,
pages
right, and it becomes
and
like
you
something
splatter
use
your
all the
phone
time.
with olive oil, you're just upset.
Yeah,
but
with on there it's lovely. It adds
it's
charm.
special.
Yeah,
You're like, oh, I remember that day I was cooking for my
yes,
friends. Like,
yes, exactly. All the stains have memories. I
this-
love
yeah.
that.
I feel very.
love that.
I feel really like
Strongly
all the
about
stains.
this.
Yeah,
Yes,
I love every single one of my cookbooks. Is disgusting.
Yes, I
but
love that.
It's really.
That's a sign of a good book.
It's a sign of a good book.
If
Exactly.
it's crispy, I don't know. That's not good.
Yeah, no. So how did you distinguish like while you were developing? Because obviously I don't feel like you missed a beat in terms of publishing recipes online
Mhm.
while you were doing this
Thank
book.
you.
How did you like determine like this is a book recipe versus this
Yes.
is a social recipe?
Well, I think that's like an interesting thing because like with the social recipes that I make, it's always like very like maybe it's like a 2-week process of me having the idea, testing it, writing the recipe, doing the video, and it's always like kind of based on the seasons, which is like really exciting for me to cook in seasons, you know, based on seasons. So for the book, I was like, oh, this is so different from that because it's like you have to sit with these recipes for like almost like 2
A
years.
long time.
Yeah, before you put them out and everything.
Yeah.
So I was like, I really wanted them to be seasonal. Like I looked at like the seasons and hopefully all the seasons are represented in here.
I think they are.
And so yeah, I was like, I just want it to be like the same type of things I make, very seasonal. But it was hard to like keep them in because
Yeah.
I'm used to be like publish it right away.
Right.
And then when you make it like, because you know, you write the book, like I test the book, blah blah blah. Then you start testing it,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, oh, I got to make it again now that she's
Right.
testing because I'm like, do I still like this? Because it's so long ago.
Right. And also if
Um,
something is like trendy, like, you know, there's no
Right.
feta pasta in the book. I'm sorry for any feta pasta fans, but it's like something like that. I mean, obviously feta pasta is delicious, like no
Yes.
judgment,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
you know, it's like, will someone know what that is
Right, or still
15
be
years
interested-
from now?
Yeah,
Will
yeah,
it
yeah.
still be exciting to people?
Yes, I want it to be more like legacy vibes.
And that's
Legacy
what,
vibes.
That's what
you know?
these recipes feel like.
Oh,
No,
thank
they're
you.
they're so like modern
Thank
but
you.
timeless,
Thank
and I
you.
feel like that's like a really hard thing to
I
do.
appreciate that, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Too kind.
Haley, you're so talented.
No, I don't know. Thank you.
Well, we just told you that we both cooked through the entire book.
Yes.
So I have a top 5.
Okay.
I want to hear your top 5. Do you want to hear
Oh,
mine
yes.
first? Like,
What do you think? Whatever you want to do. That's always
This is
Hailee.
Two people who are too polite.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna tell you my top 5,
Okay.
and then you can. All right. So mortadella egg and cheese sandwich. I already talked about that one because I loved it so much. Spicy carrot rigatoni.
Yay.
I looked at that one and I was like, carrot pasta. Okay, all right,
Kind
we'll
of weird.
try it.
Hailee.
Probably not my fave.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Oh, good.
My partner's here. We ate that.
Oh,
We ate
yes.
the entire batch of it.
Yay.
I think it's supposed to serve like 4 or 6.
Yeah.
No, it was so good. So
Oh,
you guys have to
I'm
make the
happy.
spicy carrot rigatoni.
Al liked it. When I
Al liked
I
it,
made that on
right,
a
he
Today Show.
did.
He was like, "This is
Because
good."
it's one of those recipes where you're like, okay, like
Back to Al. Sorry.
Al. And look, it always comes back to
Yeah,
Al,
it does.
honestly.
When it rains, it pours.
I mean, he was like, it's healthy. Like,
Yeah. He was like, kids.
kids will
Kids will like
great
it.
way to help a kid eat their vegetables. Oh my gosh. Okay, the artichoke gratin.
Oh yeah.
You guys can take down an artichoke.
Yes.
It's tricky, but you can do
You
it.
can do it. There's
Like
step-by-step.
any tips for how to break down an artichoke? I mean, there's a whole step-by-step in the book.
Yes. I think, well, you got to have your lemon water. Have your
Yes.
lemon water on the ready. And then
And
you can be
explain to
fine.
the folks why.
Yes, it makes it not brown as you're prepping it. So you just dip it in the lemon water, keep on going.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It takes a while, but
It
that
does take
was
a while.
that was another one where I was just like waiting and I'll just have another bite. another bite.
Yay.
It's so good.
Oh, I'm glad.
Love.
Okay.
The seeded rye bread.
Oh, yes.
Incredible.
I love
Incredible.
that one. That is
Really,
good.
really great. It's like a grainy. We're just like, yum! You guys will cook all the recipes and then you'll know what we're talking about.
yes.
Okay, finally, the chocolate amaretti crinkle cookies.
Yay.
Gluten-free.
Exactly.
It's really important, guys. Some people can't eat gluten.
I know. It's nice to have.
No, it's great. I immediately texted my friend who has celiac and I was like, have I got a recipe for you next year?
Yeah. Just have to wait a long
Just have to
time.
wait a long time. Okay, so tell me any of your current favorites.
I really love the chicken. The red wine vinegar.
Oh
honey
my,
chicken.
that's another one. It's
I really, really like
incredible.
that one. It has like porcini powder on the
So
outside,
good.
which adds a really lovely flavor. The roasted strawberry rhubarb sundae, also especially for now.
Oh my god, that crumble.
Yes, the and you can put the crumble on so many things. It's like a sesame pepita maple crumble.
Doesn't it have a little heat in it
Yes,
too? Yeah.
some espelette pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Very that one. And that's good in salads too. The crumble.
Mhm.
It's good on savory food too. Just FYI.
You can do a lot.
You can do
Versatile
a lot.
recipes.
Yes. What else? I mean, I actually really love the potato salad with the kohlrabi.
Yes.
That's I feel like
It's like half potato, half kohlrabi, right?
Yes, and I feel like if you go to the farmer's market a lot, there's always kohlrabi, and I feel like no one's buying the kohlrabi. So I'm like, let's buy it.
Show the kohlrabi some love.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
And so so that's why actually I wrote that one because I was like,
That's a really good one.
I want people to buy the kohlrabi.
That's so nice of you.
Because they
You
feel
just stand up for the vegetables
I
that
know.
aren't trending.
Yeah, I know. It's a good one.
You did do a couple of other vegetables that it was like, was there
Kind of weird.
celery root in one of them?
Yes, celery root. Oh, that's another one of my
Mhm.
celery root and potato and like white cheddar pierogi.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
that was in the pierogies. Oh my
Yes,
god, guys,
pierogies.
those were
Yeah,
amazing.
those are good. And I know that's in it. It's like a lot of steps in that one.
Yeah.
But you can do it day by day.
Yeah.
Make the dough. Make
You
the
can split it
filling.
up, yeah.
But that was really good. Oh, and the galette. I want to talk about that's like one of my favorite ones.
So good.
But galettes, I was like, Rebecca's the queen of galettes. She's the queen of galettes. She has a galette cookbook coming out June
June 10th.
10th. So pre-order this
Pre-order
galette
now.
book because it's amazing. But I was like, oh my god, she's made so many galettes, and now she's gonna test my galette. I'm like, poor girl. And also, I don't know if it's gonna be as good. And I'm like, but it was like I was nerve-wracked.
No, it was amazing. It was so different from mine. It was like it has a pretzel crust. So you crush up pretzels in the food processor,
Yes.
and that is part of the flour that makes the
Yes.
crust.
And pretzel in the frangipan.
And pretzel in the frangipan.
Yes, frangipan. Pretzel frangipan.
You guys know what frangipan is?
It's like an almondy paste, but
It's wonderful.
yeah, it's
I
delicious.
know that like sounds like,
Yeah. average.
really good in a galette.
Yeah.
Really good in a
And
galette.
it kind of saves the crust from ever
It's-
getting soggy from the
mhm,
fruit because you put
exactly.
that first and then
and then the
fruit,
blueberries on top.
and then the
yeah.
blueberries. Yeah, so that's another one of my favorites.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, every recipe I feel like you'll go through and you'll be like, all right, these two are my favorites now.
Yeah, I know. It changes. It changes a lot, especially spring. So it's like I'm thinking spring. The
Totally.
rhubarb.
Love that. Well, there's, I don't want to, deter people from the galettes and the chickens, but there's also a whole chapter of sauces and condiments.
Yes.
And I feel like that's something that's missing from a lot of cookbooks.
Okay.
I want to hear why you felt compelled to include that chapter.
Well, because I like when I'm cooking at home, like, and I'm not making maybe an elaborate recipe or testing recipe, I kind of just want to eat like very simple foods. And I'd love to have like a stocked fridge of like little things I can add to like egg and rice or just like with my egg and toast or something. And it kind of makes it like way better. So I was like, I would love to have like kind of like build your own little larder, you know? So I'm like pickles, condiments, dips. You can just add it to like very simple things and make it like a more elevated dinner, or like buy a rotisserie chicken, make the green sauce, and then you have like something that feels a little more special. And you can have the green sauce in your fridge for wherever.
I literally did that at I was at my parents' house and we were like grilling chicken and having salad, and I was like, well, this is fine.
Yeah.
But then it was like, no, wait,
green sauce.
we have green sauce.
Yes.
And it was like suddenly such a special meal.
Yeah, I love that. That's what. Yeah, exactly. That's
I feel like that's a very like chefy kind of preparedness in a way that's still accessible to home cooks.
I love that. That's true. I like that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, the giardiniera, like the fennel giardiniera.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
do you guys know giardiniera?
Chicago style giardiniera.
Chicago style. So, like, what's the difference? Like, what's Chicago style versus the others?
I never knew there was a difference. So when I moved over here, it's like very big.
It is. It's chunky.
It's like mostly.
It's like pickled veg. Basically.
Yeah, it's like pickled vegetables, mostly cauliflower, which is in the other one. But Chicago is like kind of more finely chopped up, and I feel like it's spicier because there's like a lot more serranos in it, and it's kind of like in a marinade of oil. Where this one, the other, there's no oil.
There's no oil.
Yeah, and it tastes totally different. So I'm more partial to Chicago. I'll say it. Sorry.
It's superior because like if you have just giardiniera, you're like, okay, now I have to giant cauliflower to the mouth versus like giardiniera you can put on a sandwich.
Yes, on your eggs. I really love it on the eggs.
Yum.
Yeah, that's really good. Spicy for the morning, but that's fun.
That's
Get
nice.
up.
Savory breakfast is great. Wake up.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, there's a whole chapter in the book dedicated to Tina.
Yes.
Tell us about Tina.
Yes, my grandma Tina. That was another person that really has always inspired me for like to cook and like watching her growing up. We would always go to her house on
Did she
Sundays.
live nearby?
Well, at the time, because we still used to live in Chicago. So actually, yeah, we used to live on the same street, like 2 houses over. So yes, she did live nearby.
That's nearby.
Yeah, that's really close. So we would go there a lot. But on Sundays, it was Sunday gravy day. And yeah, it was just like, I was like, wow, how does she make all that? Because it's a big production.
Yeah.
And I was like,
did you guys watch the timestamp video that Hailee posted?
It takes, gravy? Yeah, I think that was like 6 hours, maybe.
It takes a long time.
So that's also another long recipe, but fun.
A great project.
Yes, it's a great project. I love a mix of project recipes and like very fast, which I hopefully is what I tried to do.
I can attest. Yes.
But yeah, so I was like, I wanted to like do a chapter inspired by like Italian American favorites because I'm Italian American and I love Tina.
Me too.
And she made the best food.
That's so great.
And yeah, and I think that's a big reason why I started cooking as her. So I'm like, gotta have.
Did you like cook with her ever, or was she just like, no, you watch?
Yeah, it was a watch.
It was watch. Yeah.
It was like
you can join me, grandmothers, and you have no business.
Yes, it was a watch. It was a watch. But she loved when I ate. That was the best part. She used to say, "Do you have like an empty leg? Because like, where are you storing all the food?" Like, because I would eat a lot.
Oh my God, store it in my leg.
Yeah. But I love her.
Oh, that's so great. I think I still have a couple pints of that Sunday gravy in my freezer.
Oh, good.
It's
for a rainy day.
For a rainy day.
I love that. Yeah, it's great to freeze.
It's so nice. You like you make it, you take a walk, then you see
the
result. You know,
it takes 6 hours or so, but it's like very steps. Yeah, you take a walk. Yeah, you have a coffee.
Exactly. All right. Well, I'm curious to know if there were any recipes on the cutting room floor.
Yes. Well, remember, there was this fish recipe, and I was so excited about this fish recipe. I was like, this is so cool. It was like a tarragon vermouth green sauce, like shallow poached halibut. And sounds very good when I say it. Yeah, it sounds amazing. But like, it was not good. You tried it.
I did.
And it was not good.
It was fine.
But it wasn't great.
You know, every recipe of yours is so good that you know that when you're like, okay, like maybe this is an A, not an A+.
Yeah, no.
Then it's,
it was like very.
You can keep tweaking it.
Yes, yeah. So I made it again after you made it because I was just like, do I still like this? And so I made it and I was like, no, this is terrible. I guess it wasn't terrible. It wasn't good. So then I was like, that one's out. But then we switched to a halibut fiends herb, which is 10 times easier to make and 10 times better. So
Well, sometimes that's how it goes. I mean, recipes are never done; they're just due.
Right? Yeah, it's
So
true.
you're
That's
sort
so
of
true.
like,
I know. There's a point where it's like I need to stop making this because like, also there's a point where it's like you're not doing it any favors anymore. Like it was good 5 times ago, and now you're just kind of making things up in your head. Like,
exactly.
oh, maybe this needs. It's like
no. You're adding like a 2 teaspoons of parsley is not gonna,
right.
But you can take a break from it, and then 6 months later you'll be like lying awake at night at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes,
that's
that happens
it.
to me all
That's
the
how
time.
I fix it.
Yes,
and then we'll see it on TikTok.
Yeah, it's true. Exactly.
Actually,
speaking of chopped, or like you said, 2 teaspoons more parsley or something. That's something I learned so much writing this book. I'm like, man, I do not measure herbs. I
recipe develop
I don't know how. Like, I'm like, so if you ever see like 2 tablespoons of parsley, like put like a 1/4 cup, maybe. That's probably more so of what I
That is like the hardest part about the 2 brains between like cook brain versus like recipe developer tester brain.
Yes.
Because I don't think I've ever measured herbs either. Right. But when you're in testing mode, you have to take out the measuring spoon.
Yeah. Right.
When you say finely chopped, how fine?
Yeah. Right. I know. Yes. But yes, herbs. It's a big thing.
Okay. Well, so.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Well, that was my next question: is have any of the book recipes that you cut from the book, have they made it onto social yet?
No. Wait, that I took out of the book.
That you took out of the book, yeah.
No, I don't think so. Because I didn't like my tarragon vermouth sauce.
Well, so that means all of the winners are in the book.
Yes, that's true. Yes. Which is lovely.
Okay, well, on that note, we're gonna open up to the audience.
Questions.
Does anyone have a question? Yes.
Well, how did you decide what was going to go on social versus the book in the process of writing?
I realized I'm supposed to repeat the question. So sorry for the folks at home.
Yes, the folks at home. Hello.
So the question is, how did you? Wait, I'm so sorry.
Determine what would go on social versus in the book.
How did you decide what would go on social versus what would go in the book?
Well, when I first started the book, I had to write like a table of contents. So I knew what recipes were going to be in the book, basically. So I feel like that's really the answer. That's a sad answer, I guess.
Just had to scrap those.
Yeah, I was like, just don't even think about those. Those are only for the book, and then everything else was just as I usually do it.
Are there any recipes you wish were in the book?
Yes, actually. I think about this a lot. That's a lovely, I mean, your other question was great too. I didn't mean that. That was not a great question. They're all great questions. Oh dear, Hailee. I have this recipe for squash carbonara. And it's like usually with squash carbonaras, I feel like it's there's like maybe chunks of squash in it, but I blended squash and put it into like the egg yolk mixture, so kind of like you don't even know it's there. It's kind of like the emulsified egg part. And I was like, oh, this is such a good idea. Too bad it's still
There's
somewhere you can make it.
Pasta in the book though, right?
That one's really good though too.
That one's amazing.
Yes.
Is that a baked pasta?
That one is like a kind of a play on a Norsina.
Right. Because the squash is roasted.
Yes.
And then
with sausage and a little nutmeg. Yeah, that one's good too. Fall.
Yeah. Coming soon.
Congrats on the book.
Thank you so much.
Just a question. How did you decide on the chapters and how you wanted to break out the book essentially?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
sorry.
This is going to be really awkward. How did you decide on the chapter breakdown?
I kind of thought of it as like how I would plan a menu how I plan a menu. So usually, like little thing, like that's the condiments, dips, and then salads, kind of, pastas, mains. That's kind of how I thought of it. And also kind of like I know what like does really well on my channel, like what people respond to a lot. So I was like, people love pasta, so I have to have a pasta. I don't do a ton of meat on my stuff, but like there's meat here and there, so I want like a little bit of a smaller chapter on meat. I was like, I love to bake, so I definitely want a sweets. What else? Yeah, I think I really thought of like what people really love in my like videos, so I want to make those the bigger chapters and then add little ones here and there.
It's nice that it's more specific than just like breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Yes. Yeah. Because I was like, I'm like breakfast. I actually was thinking like, do I want to have a breakfast thing? But I'm like, I don't know.
Well, like we just said, jardinera for breakfast.
Exactly.
Like, it's fine.
Yeah, there's
no one needs to tell you when you can.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Other questions? Yes.
How long does it take to edit a video now after you've I guess like how long to film them?
Yes. Yes.
The question was, how long does it take to film and edit a video?
Well, it depends on the recipe, of course. So if it's a shorter recipe, or I'll say like a medium in the middle, somewhere in the middle, I think it takes probably maybe like 8 hours total to film it, edit it, and then like put the voiceover on it. Yeah, I would, just to make the video, but then like to write up the recipe, to come up with the recipe, test the recipe before the video, that's, maybe weeks before, if that makes sense.
There's a lot of labor involved.
Yeah.
And now think about how many recipes Hailee posts on the internet.
The recipe, yeah, there's a lot.
People don't see recipe development as labor. They're like, can you do 6 more reels today?
Yeah, I'm like, no. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wild.
Do you feel like it's different to like it feels more anonymous almost to like have a cookbook versus like having your whole like persona and everything attached to? I'm just like curious what that process has been like versus being really like online.
Okay. Yeah.
Question was, does it feel more anonymous to have a book versus being very well known online?
Yes, I think. Well, when it came to like the cover and stuff, I wanted it to just be like more, maybe not so focused on me, because I would love it for like people that don't know me or don't know me from social media to like see it on a book like shelf and be like, oh, that's like just a really cute book, and then flip through it and be like, oh, this looks good, and like, oh, maybe I'll make that, and then get it just for how it looks in the recipes, because I want it to be a little bit, like you said, a little bit more, maybe a little bit more anonymous and kind of separate of my whole personality, I suppose.
Yeah, there's like a lot of pressure to be online.
Yeah.
It adds to the timelessness of the book, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping as well, because I just want it to be like something you have for a long time, regardless of social media.
Well, that's pretty rare too. Like illustrated cookbooks, like shout out Maxine.
Shout
for
out
this
Maxine.
beautiful art.
Yes.
But that's not common. Like
Yes.
most times a publisher would probably demand that you put your face on it to sell the book. So shout out to your publisher.
Yeah,
as
shout
well.
out. Also, my editor, he's here, Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
We love her. Yay. Okay, sorry. Yay.
It's very that's really it's really valuable, because for a lot of folks like Hailee who are so popular on the internet, they would say like, put you on the cover cooking so that we can sell so many more books.
Right. Yes.
But this adds to just like,
it's so cute.
you want it to stand by itself.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
When you're cooking at home, do you ever get the chance to cook like other people's recipes, or do you only ever really make your own recipes?
Oh,
That's a great question.
That's a great question.
They asked if Hailee ever gets a chance to cook other people's recipes at home.
well, I think if I'm just cooking, I don't really totally follow a recipe, because I kind of have an idea of how I want to make it, and I kind of just make it. So I don't really cook a lot of other recipes, but I eat a lot of Chuck's recipes. So there's that. And I think, mostly I'm kind of just cooking from kind of my memory more so. But there's a lot of great recipes out there.
Sure.
There are.
It doesn't feel like work to cook. I think that's like a sign, is that if you still like to cook outside of the work part.
Yes, which I really do. I still actually, like, when I cook that's like something that's not for a recipe or not for a video, I'm like, wow, this is so fun. It's like so relaxing. Yeah, I love it. That's actually why, like, the Friday night dinner stuff, that's
that
why
where
we
that came
started.
from?
Yes, we're like, I want to cook not from a recipe. We just want to cook like just like cooking together, and so
like, what do I want to eat tonight?
yes, and just make it.
That's rare.
Yeah. Exactly.
I feel like, do you have a question?
Yeah. Well, congrats. The book is so amazing and fun.
Thank
The texture is
you.
incredible.
Oh, thank you. I was really excited about that, so I'm glad you said that. Thank you.
But I loved your Mexico City content.
Oh, thank
And
you.
so, what's your next food destination?
Oh, yes.
Great question. They said they really liked Hailee's Mexico City content and wanted to know the next food city goal.
Yes, we're going to Alaska actually for like learning about Alaskan seafood. Oh, I love that response. Yeah. So I'm really excited about that. I think it's like to learn about salmon and like sustainable fishing, and we're gonna see like those glacier things.
Yeah. Very cool.
And so I'm excited. Yeah, so that's where we're headed next, which I'm excited about.
I'm excited for the vlog.
Yes, I know. Me too. I'm like, yay.
Nice to capture content that isn't always you cooking.
Yes.
That will take less than 8 hours.
Yes,
You'll be
those are
enjoying
much more
yourself.
simple.
Yeah. All right,
That's
we
true.
have a couple more questions. Yeah.
What's your favorite pastry that you had at Radio Bakery?
Oh,
The question was, what's your favorite Radio Bakery pastry?
that is so hard. It's not just like the most amazing place. Like,
It's
how
so
do they
good.
make?
It's unbelievable.
And then the quantity. Like, I don't know if
I don't know how
people
they do it.
realize the quantity that they make of those like high quality like it's so hard to do that.
Outrageous.
So they're just amazing. So
They're just
everything is
baking
great.
all day long.
Yes, and it's like such hard pastries to make. Like they're so hard to make. Like multiple days takes to make these pastries.
Totally.
Anyways, but I love that. I mean, I love their any sandwich they make. Oh, you know what? I love the French onion. Danish, I guess.
Yeah.
French onion Danish. I think is my new fave currently. I had that yesterday.
That's really good.
Very good.
Really good. I really love their chocolate chip cookie.
I was gonna say I
It's
also
so
had that.
chewy.
It's so chewy and
Yeah.
a little crisp edge.
Yeah.
We love
It's really
that.
good. I think they like cream the butter and sugar for like 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like a really long time.
See? Amazing. Is that your favorite one?
I think that might be my favorite, even though it's kind of a basic answer.
Not a basic answer.
I mean, I
no.
also love the rhubarb croissant,
Oh yes, delish.
Um,
I had that yesterday.
which
too.
is
That was also
really good, and that's like a seasonal fave. So
Yes.
she's not available all the time.
Yeah.
All right, we can have one more question if anyone wants to wrap it up.
You have a hard job. This is
Oh my gosh. Okay, you're closer.
I'm
I'm so sorry.
After the book tour, what's your plan for the next step? Are you going to work on another book, or are you going to open a restaurant?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, the question was, what's next? Are you going to do another book? Are you going to open up a restaurant?
Yes. Well, I think if anyone wants to have me write another cookbook, I would love to do it. I would love to do that. But I would really love, Chuck and I would really love to write like a 2 people cooking cookbook for like Friday night dinner. Yeah, that would be the next one. But
Every editor just emailed you.
yeah, that would be our next thing. But Chuck has to have a cookbook first before that one.
Yeah, Chuck.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, thanks so much, you guys.
Yay! Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hailee,
Thank
for
you.
writing a
No,
beautiful book.
thank you for coming and thank you for testing the whole entire book.
Of course. Literally, it was my pleasure. I ate so well last summer. All right, so all of you need to cook through the entire book.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, thank you all so much for coming out. Thank you to everyone who asked questions. Echoing all of these thank yous.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rebecca,
Yeah,
for
Rebecca.
moderating such a great conversation. And thank you, Hailee, for celebrating this debut with
Thanks
us.
for
Yeah.
So, I know you are all eager to get your book
this is
signed
great.
and buy more books. But before you move, I just have a few reminders before you wrap up. If you're still with us on the live stream, you can buy a copy by clicking the link in the live stream description. For those with us in person, we have plenty of additional copies if you haven't gotten one yet, or if you want another one, or 2, or 3. Hailee will be around to sign your books at the back. My coworker Alexa, with her very long arms, is now pointing to it. Yes, thank you, Alexa. So we're gonna ask that y'all just sit tight for a moment while we get her settled back there. And then please make sure you grab all of your personal belongings with you so we can start to break down all of these chairs. And a very important note, as soon as we get these chairs moving out of the way, we're gonna ask that you all move as close to either side of the room as possible. We'll let you know when it happens so that we can turn the bookstore, which is all hidden back here, back into what it normally looks like. So please just be mindful of the space and our staff. Thank you all again for coming. Let's give these two one last round of applause.